wife, but let me tell you something. Being a wife is making sure you have the soap powder. The wife is making sure you might throw those clothes in the washing machine. Being a wife is not coming to pick up your drawers after you. That is not.
Who said you had to pick up the drawers? That's what said y'all want to go do it. This is my point here with that. Yeah. We always act like that's such a big thing. Like, especially for the women. Wait a minute. Especially for the women that got kids. Y'all should be cleaning the house anyway. Y'all should be cooking anyway. So you cook.
Great catch. I'm a great wife. I'm a great this. And it's like that hasn't been validated.
All these single girls are yours too. I don't know.
The one thing that I'm seeing is that when you're dealing with a grown-ass man,
there it is.
He has a vision and a purpose for his life.
Facts.
What he wants in the future. And what I see is that a lot of these modern women don't want to fall into and play their part in that purpose and in that vision because they have their own purpose and their own vision. I think a lot of women get it confused. Not your responsibility to motivate a man.
Right.
A man should have his own motivation, his own direction. Your job is to inspire. It's a complete difference. I think a lot of ladies get a man.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Candid Convos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe on deck tonight. We got Herschel on deck tonight. Say what's up to the people, y'all.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yeah, how's everybody doing today?
Doing well. Appreciate that. And the classic Happy Wednesday. Oh, man, shout out to everybody joining us tonight. Let's see, we appreciate you guys holding us down, supporting the platform, supporting what we do. I know we was just here on Monday, and Monday popped off. Monday definitely popped off. We'll be back here on our normal night for the Wednesday show. So we appreciate you guys, let's say, at YouTube and Facebook holding us down. So let me do this real fast while I'm thinking about it. All right. So here's a link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge, your Apple device. I said, if you come into an Apple device, you have to use Safari. So just keep that in mind, but drop this in your browser. Join us up on the panel here. Definitely don't be scared. You do have the ability to cut your camera off if you choose, but we always encourage you to keep your camera on. Better show, better engagement, save you a little bit of typing. So yeah, we also have this link posted in all of the chat feeds as well. So you can catch it at the Candid Convos page on YouTube or Facebook. And you can also catch it at the Quay Price page on Facebook as well. If you need the link, shoot me a message. I'll send it right to you, or drop a comment. We'll get it to you as well. But I'll leave this up for a little bit as we get into the conversation. Let's see what we got checking in. Crystal Reed, she said good night. Hold on, Crystal Reed. That's a little premature. She said good night. What's going on, Reed? How you doing? Appreciate you joining us tonight, checking in with us. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. She said hello, everyone. I know what you meant. No, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you. All right. Let's see, don't got anything else I got to get into here? I think we're ready to get into it. I don't know if Vince is hopping on. Yeah, we'll see. We may have another gentleman hopping on as well. We'll see how this go. All right. So I'm gonna drop this link for a minute. Let's see. I know we're gonna get right on into this conversation tonight. So let me pull this down. Let's definitely let us know in the comments if you need the link. We will get that over to you. Also, let's do me a favor. You're watching us right now. Hit that like button for us. Hit that like button. Likes are free. Hit that like button for us. Let's then, if you feel so inclined, hit that share. Let's say we're trying to get this content out to as many of our people as possible. So any shares, any likes always helps out the platform. So no, we appreciate it. All right. So I guess we're going to get on into this. I guess people will pop on when they're ready. All right. So topic for tonight. Your baby daddy is right. Let me run that back. Topic for tonight. Your baby daddy, he right. Got a couple more folks checking in. Donovan in the building. He said, greetings, folks. Happy Wednesday, everyone. What's going on with you, brother? Appreciate you. I see you still representing the 46th, holding it down. See Kenyatta in the building. She said, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you, sis. Appreciate you holding us down as well. All right, yeah. I see folks checking in. All right, cool. So we're gonna go and get on into this conversation and do what we do. So let's get it. Let's get it.
Get my child. How come it's a problem every time he go with you somewhere? What's going on?
It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. Hold on.
Come on.
It's not a problem. Every time he come with me and I chastise him about something, he want to get in his feelings and shoot you a text message. Okay. He want to go back home.
All right. But the thing is, you run your house like a boot camp. That's why your other kids ain't happy there.
No,
He's not used to that.
I run my house with structure and discipline. That's what I run my household with. I'm not saying that you're not doing a good job of that, but that's what I run my house with. And when he get in his feelings, he want to come home because I chastise him.
Right. But he don't do that there. I do everything here. I clean his room. I do the dishes. I clean up. He don't do that. That's why he don't ever want to be there. He don't want to be at your house because you run that shit like a fucking boot camp,
man. You can't be serious. How you gonna raise a young man like that? He ain't gonna be able to know how to fend for himself. Cook, clean, mow the grass. He ain't gonna be able to do none of that shit.
He can do other stuff. He can do other stuff.
Who's teaching him?
I'm teaching him. How you? He still got to learn how to be compassionate towards others and be nice to others.
Listen,
you're doing too much on him,
I'm
man.
not doing too much. You raising this boy to be too goddamn soft, man.
What you mean by soft?
Look, at the rate he gonna end up being a felon on the street, a fucking mama's boy don't nobody want, or you gonna end up being gay. One of the three.
Okay, but you already have a son that's gay.
But I didn't raise him. But that's just my opinion.
So you saying I'm raising him, I'm turning him to be out to be gay?
That's not what I'm saying. See, you trying to change the whole narrative. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about me disciplining my son and you not being an interference. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, look though, that's not how I discipline though.
He could be whatever he could be. He could be whatever he want to be. Let's get that straight.
Okay. But you too hard on him. You too hard on him.
I'm supposed to be hard on them. That's wrong with these kids.
Why you think your other kids don't want to come? You too hard on them, man. That's too much. Let them be a kid.
So I got to be the fall guy because I want to be hard on my kids to make sure they turn out right, better than I did.
Look, come on, come on, baby, come on, get out the car.
Oh my gosh, man, that's the whole.
Come on.
Really, son?
Come on. Mama take care of you. I'll take you shopping later on, okay?
See what I'm talking about? That's the type of shit I'm talking about. That type of shit.
Man, Jaquez, go on. We don't need that shit. Go on. Go on about your business, man. We don't need that.
Really?
Because the thing is this. At the end of the day, I take care of them. All I asked you to do was to step in and give him some,
That's all I'm doing. That's just my son, man. That's all I'm trying to do is be there for him and raise him right.
You don't got to discipline him and yelling him out.
I ain't had my father in my life, okay? So I know what it feels like, but I need to raise him and discipline him and show him the right way. Better than I did, you feel?
No, I don't agree with you on that part.
You can't be serious, man. That's bullshit, man.
Man, just go on, go. I'll take care of my son from here. We don't need you.
Okay.
We good.
Hey, keep that same energy when you need some money now.
All right. Make no sense.
Okay. Topic for tonight. Your baby daddy is right. Okay. Oh man. Let me get some of these comments. Let's see. Donovan says she's teaching an apple to be a peach. Okay. Appreciate that comment. Kenyatta says she does what? Man, with the face plant. Okay. See, Donovan also said his approach is about reality. Her approach is emotional. Okay, I hear that. All right. So I'm sure you guys all saw the video. You know, you got a mother and a father doing the back and forth about the son and the raising of the son and the structure and the environment and the methods and you name it. So I got this video. I think it is a worthy conversation because I think once again this is a realistic situation right here. And I think all of us have probably seen this in some way, shape, or form, or might even lived it. I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to bring it to the conversation, Leslie, because I think it's something we need to talk about, especially as we talk about relationships and getting folks together and family and generational wealth and lineage and all of these things. And I think this plays right into that. So let me come straight to the panel. I see the comments popping, but let me go straight to the panel on this one. So I got Chloe, I got Vince, I got Herschel. So man, anybody can pop off. What y'all see? What didn't you see? What made sense? What didn't? Go ahead and let me know what y'all feeling. Anybody can go first. Just come off mute, do your thing. Go ahead, Vince.
He's fighting a losing battle. He is fighting a losing battle. And the way that we hold women accountable, we got to hold men accountable. He put himself in that situation because obviously that wasn't his ex-wife.
Right.
Obviously, he didn't vet her properly to see if they were on alignment on how to raise children. She probably has other kids. He obviously has other kids. And he's in the losing battle because he's in the losing battle, first of all, because you can't put your hands on these kids nowadays. The wrong person see that, CPS will be called. You can barely, I was in a situation where I had to kind of chastise Jewel at the doctor, and it was like, you got to kind of cool out. And it was just a grab and a stern.
Right.
Come over here.
Right.
But you can't even do that nowadays. So he's fighting a losing battle. The best thing he can do is to try to be a good example, to love his son, and hopefully his son is going to see that. And when he becomes 18, but by then it's probably too late because he done been mummified and then, So I blame him. I understand that he's in the situation, but I mean, you should have picked better.
Okay. Simple as that. Herschel, Chloe, either one of y'all, you want to say anything?
Herschel, you want to come?
Ladies first. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, here we go, ladies. This right here is the precursor for your daughter 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, maybe even 20 years down the line, depending on how old that young man. He was not a little kid either. He looks to be about a teenager, preteenish. So I can already see her saying, Mom, all these dudes are feminine. They're so soft. This is how you get the feminine, soft man. When there is a dad that wants to be present, when there is a dad that wants to provide structure, when there is a dad that wants to teach his son how to walk in his masculine, frame and what it looks like to actually be a man, you are telling him that's too hard. That's too hard for him. So you're saying that him being a man is too hard. what don't you understand the type of message that you're sending to him by saying that being a man is hard? So then why would he want to be a man? You're not incentivizing him at all to be manly. When his dad tries to show him what being a man will entail, you say, but that's too hard. You got him thinking it now, to the point where he's calling you for rescue. So now it makes me wonder, fast forward, like I said, 10 years, is he going to be calling a woman for help? How is he going to navigate life? Just like his father said, how is he going to navigate life? How is he going to know what to do? And then he's sitting up in there. Come on, son. And he getting out looking like he's a child. I ain't gonna talk about him. Do. That's gonna be somebody's husband one day, potentially, maybe. Somebody's gonna vet him to be a boyfriend. Somebody's gonna vet him to be a father. That's insane. And she's saying he don't do nothing. I do the dishes, I do this, I clean up. He doesn't have to do anything. I mean, I just don't want to hear it anymore from women when they start complaining about men. Because I agree with Vince. He has to take his portion of accountability because he did choose her. But she's going to have, this one's going to be hers. This is going to be her fault when he grows up. And he's a shadow of the man that he should be. This one's on you, sis, because the father was in his life, wanted to be in his life. And then she ends it off by saying, that's okay. You ain't even got to do nothing else for him. I got him. Wow. So, I mean, I just don't, whether it was a skit or not, I'm just like, to me, it's the perfect case study. This is y'all creating these problems. Y'all, ladies, y'all creating these problems. And when you have something like, and I could have the numbers wrong, but I think it's over 70, 80% of homes that are single parent homes are the moms, single moms. And a lot of those homes are being, single moms raising boys. So then here you go.
That's real. Appreciate that. All right, Hurt, you want to say something, man?
Yeah, I just want to share my personal experience. I was fortunate to have both my mother and my father in the home growing up. So when we came to those situations, like mothers are always that way. They're always soft on their kids, also their boys. You know what I'm saying? They'll always be like, "Oh, let them go, let them do this and do that." But I can recall back in the day growing up, anything like that happened, my dad was right there. He just like kind of nipped that in the bud right there. He stopped it. And so that helped by having him in the house, where they both were as a unit. They may have biggered on their own time, but he was there versus like her being in her own space. Is like, this is my place. So this is my rules over here and your rules over there, so that's part of the problem I'm saying is like, as far as the homes, that like the broken homes, like Chloe was just saying about the single parent homes. But at the same time, I know there are single parent homes that are successful. The kids can grow up and flourish and everything. But a higher percentage is that situation where we have those situations like that where the father is just not able to do anything. His hands are tied, kind of like what Vince was saying, and I agree with him too. It's like, you should chose a better. You should have chose somebody prior to laying in the bed with somebody, because I've learned in my own life experiences, all those red flags are there already. They're there. We just ignore them. You know what I'm saying? We just say, oh, they'll get better. This might change. I might be able to make them do this or that. But no, they're there. Like those nurturing or those mature, responsible parental skills are not there, then they're not going to be there. You're going to know. You're going to know that. You're going to see that, and it's how they operate in their own lives. So yeah, part of it his fault because he, that's what we chose. He can't say too much. He can't get too mad about it. All you can do is like what Vince saying, just gotta wait it out wait till he becomes a man, and then, you know, hopefully he'll find his way.
Okay, no, I appreciate that, man. That makes sense. Let me get a couple of these comments real quick. Let's see. Donovan said, let's see, there isn't any balance of structure here. When dad puts his foot down, the mother lifts it up and pulls the son away from accountability. Okay, appreciate that comment right there, Donovan. He also said these very same single ladies raise their sons to be exactly what they would not want as a man for themselves. That's a good point right there, man. That's a good point. So he also said iron sharpens iron. Soft life environments don't create strong men, which no, that's true as well. Hold on one second. Wait. Hold on a minute. Who is it? Is that Prince? See, Prince, is that you, man? I think you're on mute right now. Let me. You muted, man. Come off mute, man. Man.
How y'all doing?
Man, hold on, man.
What up?
See, Prince, what's going on, man?
Nothing. How y'all been doing?
We've been good, man. How you been, man?
All right.
Okay. Do I need to run the video back, man? What you need, man?
Run that video
what
back.
What do y'all do?
You're good, man. You gotta.
Right. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run it back for you. Hold tight. I'm gonna run it back. Let me see.
Clear.
Let's see.
Get my child. How come it's a problem every time he go with you somewhere? What's going on?
It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. Hold on.
Come on.
It's not a problem. Every time he come with me and I chastise him about something, he want to get in his feelings and shoot you a text message. Okay. He want to go back home.
All right. But the thing is, you run your house like a boot camp. That's why your other kids ain't happy there.
No,
He's not used to that.
I run my house with structure and discipline. That's what I run my household with. I'm not saying that you're not doing a good job of that, but that's what I run my house with. And when he get in his feelings, he want to come home because I chastise him.
Right. But he don't do that there. I do everything here. I clean his room. I do the dishes. I clean up. He don't do that. That's why he don't ever want to be there. He don't want to be at your house because you run that shit like a fucking boot camp, man.
You can't be serious. How you gonna raise a young man like that? He ain't gonna be able to know how to fend for himself. Cook, clean, mow the grass. He ain't gonna be able to do none of that shit.
He can do other stuff. He can do other stuff.
Who's teaching him?
I'm teaching him. He still got to learn how to be compassionate towards others and be nice to others.
Listen,
you're doing too much on him,
I'm
man.
not doing too much. You raising this boy to be too goddamn soft, man.
What you mean by soft?
Look, at the rate he gonna end up being a felon on the street, a fucking mama's boy don't nobody want, or you gonna end up being gay. One of the three.
Okay, but you already have a son that's gay.
But I didn't raise him. But that's just my opinion.
So you saying I'm raising him, I'm turning him to be gay?
That's not what I'm saying. See, you trying to change the whole narrative. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about me disciplining my son and you not being an interference. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, look though, that's not how I discipline though.
He could be whatever he could be whatever he want to be. Let's get that straight.
Okay. But you too hard on him. You too hard on him.
I'm supposed to be hard on them. That's wrong with these kids.
Why you think your other kids don't want to come? You too hard on them, man. That's too much. Let them be a kid.
So I got to be the fall guy because I want to be hard on my kids to make sure they turn out right, better than I did.
Look, come on, baby, come on, get out the car.
Oh my gosh, man, that's the whole.
Come on.
Really, son?
Come on. Mama take care of you. I'll take you shopping later on, okay?
See what I'm talking about? That's the type of shit I'm talking about. That type shit.
Man, Jaquez, go on. We don't need that shit. Go on. Go on about your business, man. We don't need that.
Really?
Because the thing is this. At the end of the day, I take care of them. All I asked you to do was to step in and give him talking to.
That's all I'm doing. That's my son, man. That's all I'm trying to do is be there for him and raise him right.
You don't got to discipline and yell at him out.
I ain't had my father in my life, okay? So I know what it feel like, but I need to raise him and discipline him and show him the right way. Better than I did, you feel?
No, I don't agree with you on that part.
You can't be serious, man. That's bullshit, man.
Man, just go on, go. I'll take care of my son from here. We don't need it.
Okay.
We good.
Hey, keep that same energy when you need some money now.
All right. Make no sense.
All right, see, Prince. There you go, man. All right, you got the gist of that right there, man.
Yeah, I got the gist of that.
So what you thinking, man? I see you ready to say something. What you thinking on there, Prince?
You know, sometimes, you know, it's gonna sound bad when it comes out of my mouth, but sometimes a woman need to know her place. Point blank. You know, I mean, everybody will be like, "Oh, Charles said it." I said it wrong, but women interfering with a man and his son is like a man interfering with a woman and her daughter. You know, I can't teach that girl how to be a woman, but I can teach her how to be treated. But she can't teach that man how to be a man. She can teach him how to be treated. There's two different things going on there. You know, she's so independent and she's thinking that she's doing her son justice, but at the same time, she's giving him feminine ways. And I hate to say it like that, but she's giving him feminine ways. Or she's pampering him that no other woman can deal with him. He's looking for somebody that's going to pamper him the same way. You see what I'm saying? So I think women like that should be charged with a crime or something like that, you know, because they ruin these young men. You know, it's a felony that you sit there and take a young man and make him so I'm gonna say soft, you know, because it don't matter his sexual preference. He's gonna be soft by nature. He's gonna crumble, bro. He ain't gonna be able to walk on his own 2 feet. He's just gonna crumble. And a lot of people don't see that, you know, when you got a man talking about, hey, son, straighten your back, stand up, look a man in his eyes and stuff like that. And she gonna say, you don't need to do all that. You ain't gotta tolerate that. But when you out in this world and I see you got a little softness in you, and I look in your eye and you a little timid, guess what? I'm gonna back you down because I'm the alpha male. And you don't know how to be an alpha male. So you can't even run your own house. That's why these men are getting, how you say, that's why these women are disrespecting these young men. Because they know how to disrespect themselves. So if a man is not taught how to be the man and he got more of a feminine way about him, and when he get with a strong woman, she don't want to deal with herself. She wants to deal with something opposite of her. That's what I say.
Right. No, that makes sense right there. That makes sense. See, Joseph just popped on. Joe, you want to say anything? Or you good, man?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah,
pretty good. How you doing, man?
Okay, good. I could not believe what I saw. Like this, right? Like I'm just gathering my thoughts. Okay, so here you have a man who wants to be a father and who is being a father. He's not a dysfunctional father. Even he knew his past dysfunction and he corrected it, self-corrected it, which is difficult to do, but he managed to do it. So now what I think happened is that he ended up retracting because he didn't have that discipline from his father growing up. He ended up attracting the kind of woman that he ended up having a son with. So now he's like course correcting, but unfortunately, because she's not on the same page that he's on, because she wasn't on the same page at the time, I would assume around the time he was born, because he looks like he's in his teens, preteens. So it seems like he's learned over the time as the child got older, but the woman stayed at the same mindset that he also was on, most likely, when he got with her. Because what they say, birds of a feather flock together, right? So two people of the same frequency are going to engage in some sort of activity that produces that child. So that child is a product of who he used to be and who she still is. So now he grew, but she didn't. So now that's the conflict. The problem is that he doesn't have any power in the situation because the man is the power is stripped away from him. So even though he seems like he's the biological father of that child, he doesn't have the same equal rights as the mother to that child. So she can say to him, well, I don't need you. We don't need you anymore. I got this. She doesn't realize it now, but like Chloe said earlier, she's going to realize that in the future, she's the one that messed up. She's going to have to deal with that realization into her old years, her old age, when her grandsons turn out to be like the way her son is, when she realizes the error of her ways far too late. He's already run the streets. He probably knocked out a couple of girls. those kids don't have a father in his life. Those grandkids come into her life. She realizes the same issues that she raised her son to be is going to be her grandkids and her great grandkids, and she's going to die with that on her conscience. Now, with the man, I think he's going to have some regret, but he's not going to have the regret of at least I didn't do my absolute best. At least I didn't try. I agree with Chloe that the burden is going to fall mostly on her, but it's also going to fall on, I'm agreeing with Vince as well, it's going to fall with him. He's going to have the regrets of what I didn't do in the past, and she will too, but she just kind of caught on far too late. So that's what I see happening in the future for them. It's just an all-around bad situation. Now, my father, he was very, very strict. And of course, it's not uncommon for a woman to feel some kind of way about how their kids are being treated by the father. They're more nurturing. They're more softer. They don't understand the concept of roughhousing. Like even when I was roughhousing my nephew, the mother can look at that and say, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Break it up." He's like, "We're not fighting. This is what we do. We plan. Like this is not a fight. We just roughhousing. This is what you do. And the reason why you do that is because it toughens them up. It makes them not be afraid of, if they're going to school, not being afraid of bullies. If they're dealing with hardship in life, dealing with maybe the job market, career aspirations, dealing with women, dealing with all kinds of issues, physical, spiritual. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. And that roughhousing that we do, a woman would see it as being too much, but we know instinctively this play is what toughens them up for the future as they become adults. Because that's what my father did with me. He made us go outside and play. We got lost. Okay, you figure it out. We figured it out. We come home. You want to learn how to play the clarinet? Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna make sure you play it 30 minutes every day. Oh, here, listen. This type of thing is gonna be the future. I want you to do this. Oh, I don't want to do that. We want to go outside and play. Yeah, well, you're gonna have plenty of time to play when you get older. You make some money doing this thing, because I think there's something to this. My mother did not see that. She didn't see the point of it. She thought all that typing was for nothing. 40 words per minute at 13 years old didn't mean anything at the time. I got older and I made a whole career out of that. From that one discipline that my father made me do. Same thing when I owned my own candy store. Now, I could have been a kid out there selling weed if I didn't have a father. But that same natural instinct that we have to acquire resources, he channeled it and said, okay, I see it right now. They want to make money. That's natural for every young boy with testosterone. He wants to get money. He knows the value of it. He wants to acquire resources. He channeled it into selling candy and chips. Ended up becoming the most successful candy chip business. The lines would literally go around the block to come to our house, making all kinds of money at 13, 14 years old for selling candy and chips versus selling weed and crack to do the same, but ending up in jail or dead on the street because of no father in the home. So I saw the contrast of me having a father and those kids who I grew up with, who I called my friends, who didn't have a father. And it was because of that structure and discipline that man was trying to put into that child that woman does not yet see. But she'll see it soon enough, and she will regret it, every bit of it. And she's going to go to a grave with it. And I feel sorry for her as much as I do for the child.
That's real.
You know what?
That's real right there. That's real right there. Go ahead, C. Prince.
I gotta say, the key word that's being said is structure. This woman has no structure. I guarantee you the man she got in her life has no structure. Because guess what? He allows her to pamper a young man. You know what I'm saying? So that means he's probably being pampered too. He gets fired or he don't go to work. He complaining why he's not successful. And you know what she do? She get her butt up, go to work, take care of 2 children, her man and her son. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the pattern. If you look in the world, that's the pattern. The women are working, the men are staying at home. You know, people are like, oh, that's their, no, just look at it. You know what I'm saying? Just look at it. And then you got to look at it. There's more women that are more manly than the men now. Because guess what? That's a field that's lacking with men being men. So the women are feeling weight. You know what I'm saying? So it's a hard pill to swallow, but at the same time, you got to think about it. These men are learning not to be men from their mothers. You know what I'm saying? Because they can say, oh, the fathers are not in their life. We just seen the father wants to be in their life. This is one prime example but the mothers think the men are being too hard, or it's about a financial support for the woman. They don't want the father there anyway. So the man is losing all the way around. Period.
That's real right there. That's real right there. Go ahead, Vince. Then I got a couple questions. Go ahead, man.
Then I think also that the ladies, a lot of their problems with the men that they're choosing have to do with their male children. I have some issues. I had some situations when I was dating with women who had kids, and I didn't particularly like how they were raising their kids. So I put them in a certain place. They might just spend on Netflix and chill because I didn't want to deal with their kids. I have a friend of mine who's a single guy. He always complaining, and a lot of his chicks are smash and grab. So a lot of these ladies be talking about, oh, they just want some sex. They just want some sex. That's because they can't deal with these kids. And that's I'm just trying to keep it 100 with them. You know, they want to wonder why men don't want. You got to have these kids in line. You talking about that you want a leader and all that. You got to have your kids in line to follow a leader. A man come around and, you know, the boy ain't doing nothing. He don't want to be bothered with that. You know what I'm saying? He might just say, okay, you know. And then I think a lot of women would rather have that anyway. They really don't want somebody over their kids trying to tell them what to do. Two, I think that's the issue too. You know, I've heard a lot of women say, "Oh, well, the man I'm dating don't have to help me raise." But I said, "Well, if you marrying him, isn't he going to live there with you? Isn't he going to provide for you and your children?" Yeah, but my kids don't need no father. Yeah, and you don't need no husband, and that's why you get what you get. Hate to say it, but it's just the truth. I don't want to deal with these boys, and we've had a couple generations to see that it's a thankless job being a stepfather. You got to pay all the bills and get none of the credit. They're not carrying your name, they're not carrying your legacy, they're not carrying your DNA. And these ladies will have to understand that, you know, I really have to understand what I'm trying to attract here and make this convenient and something that can be palatable for the type of man that I want.
Right.
And to keep it 100, that's what me and Remy had to talk about because I have 2 stepsons. But they've always been respectful. And from the beginning, we said these is our kids. I can talk to them like I talk to my own, just like I told y'all last week. It wasn't no, you can't do this and you can't do that. Because if it was, she would have been a smash and grab Netflix and chill. That's just 100.
I hear you. No, I hear that. I hear that. Well, let me I got a couple questions. Actually, you know, let me drop a couple of these comments real fast. Shout out to my guy Keenan in the building. He said, "Oh my God, do I hear that I'm too hard on my son? He 15. It's caused me and son so much division." Yeah, no, this definitely is happening out here and definitely is an issue. But I appreciate that comment, my guy Keenan. I got a couple questions just watching this video. So there was a couple things that I heard that stuck with me, right? So the first question I want to ask is, why are we so comfortable sleeping with somebody that we don't even trust with our kids? Okay, let me keep it as simple as that. So in this video, you know, using this video as an example, right? So you're willing to lay down with this man, procreate with this man, then you don't trust this man to father both of y'all's son.
That's a great point.
Like, that make sense to me.
I think a lot of it is because we're not thinking. We're not thinking about kids. We're thinking about sex. Yep. We're not thinking about, oh, a kid can come out of this. We're thinking about, oh, let me go ahead and get this nut.
So okay, so I understand that. Right? So I don't agree with it.
Excuse me, Chloe, but we keeping it 100, ain't we?
No, that's real. No, I agree with what you're saying, but my question to that would be, if that's the case, so if this is just about the sex, then why you don't wrap that up?
Because we're irresponsible. We're irresponsible on most things. It ain't just sex, it's bills, it's health, it's everything. It ain't just we were irresponsible with sex. We're responsible in our finance world. We're irresponsible in our health world. It all wraps in together, Quay. And then you also have to understand is we living in the second and third generation of men not being in the homes. These women don't feel like they need no father for their kids. They was raised without a daddy. Their mama was probably raised without a daddy. Granddaddy been dead. And their uncles ain't shit. Most of them. So most of them don't feel the need. I don't need you.
Yeah, but I guess, okay, but this is my thing with that. Now, so you're right, though, Vince. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but this is my thing with that, though. So how are you able to make that, essentially, how are you able to make that assessment if you're not a man? Like, so you sitting here saying that we don't need these men to be active in these situations, and we see the outcome of these men not being active in these situations. So as a woman, how would you know if a man don't need to be active in the situation? Like that don't make sense to me. You can't make that assessment. That would be just like a man. Because see, like I said, I don't hear men, being honest, I don't hear men saying this type of stuff. Yep, I don't know any man who walks around and has children saying that his children don't need a mom. I ain't never heard that. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never heard that. And I'm 40 plus years old. I ain't never heard that.
I haven't.
So I'm just trying to understand, where does that mentality come from? Where do we, some of this stuff that I'm seeing and that we're seeing in these videos, because I said, I don't think this video is a skit. Like, I think this video is real, because I hear guys talking about this situation. Yep, and they separate from these young ladies. They go their separate way after these kids are in play. And then they talk about these issues that they have trying to be active in their kids' lives. If it be through, issues with this child support and all these other things, right? But to your point, Vince, there are some ladies out here who say that, like the lady in the video, she got it. She don't need him. So, come on, son, come on in the house and whatever. But then when the outcome is not what you think it's going to be or what it's supposed to be with your son, then it's like, his daddy was this, his daddy was that. And in this particular situation, the dad was trying to be active and provide the structure for the son, because at the end of the day, as men, we know how it's going to be for a young fella coming up, and coming into the game. We know what that looks like already. So yeah, it's just wild to me. Go ahead, C Prince. I see you want to say something, man.
Yeah, we're not gonna give this man a pass. We can't give him a pass, because we got to realize that's a teenage boy right there. So before he was a teenage boy, his father was sports hunting women. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't a man yet. He was not a man. We all go through that phase that we hunting. We some good hunters. Pimping is real. Let's be honest. So we have to grow to become a man. We have to grow out that phase. So when he grew up that phase, he's a man. Now he's seeing the areas of his wrong. Because you know what? I guarantee you that man right now wouldn't have chose that woman to be with. Period. Because his life is different. His goal is different. At the same time, they had a common goal. They both were sport hunters. They was out there trying to knock everything down. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was a prey or a predator during them times. When you're younger, you better watch it. Understand it. So we're not going to give him a pass, but into a man that knew and recognized that his mistakes was sleeping with these women and leaving his children with these women with no structure. Now he's regretting it. And now guess what? Now that his lust has developed to a seed in his children, he can't correct it, because now the only way he can correct it is to take that child from that woman. And right now, of course, I ain't gonna take no child from no woman. I don't care how bad that woman is. She got to be totally irresponsible. No, that's still too light. She has to be, I don't know. She got to do a cardinal sin, not a capital punishment, something before these
She got to be
take
dead.
place. You see what I'm saying?
She has to be dead,
so,
brother.
We have to understand that when we younger, we make a lot of bad mistakes. It's about the booty and the count. You know, we like the count as men. I knocked her out. Club, you start getting the spotlight on everything you hit in that club. And let something move in there that you ain't hit, you got a spotlight on her. You know, we don't think that something's gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? Because we think our pullout game is good. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, we think we got the best pullout game in the world until we get stuck. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we make these mistakes. Because we're not thinking, you know what I'm saying? And that's the truth.
And then we also got to understand that this society has made the black single mama a hero.
That too, yeah.
Have you seen that every commercial? I'm a black single mother, black single mothers, black single mothers, and then they'll pick and choose. They'll put a LeBron up there, or a Kevin Durant, or even a Barack Obama. And say, well, they didn't have their fathers. I didn't have my father. And then they'll switch it and say, well, some of these fathers were abusive. Some of these fathers had families around the block. Some of these fathers wasn't there, but they was there, but they wasn't there.
Some of them were missed.
I hear that all the time. Where they was there, but they wasn't there, or they was cheating, or they was abusive, or they was this. So the
Sierra can do it.
Flex to be a single black woman. Oh, I'm a single black woman working hard. Independent single woman working hard. That's a flex now.
Vince.
How many married women you see on TV, just even with a ring on? I pay attention to that. I say, okay, now what are they pushing here?
Right.
You see a mama with their kids. Daddy ain't nowhere. So we have to understand. And then also, I have to be 100% transparent, even in my own situation. I don't know if I told y'all this before. I think I probably did. It was a situation where my kids grew up in Indianapolis. They left when they were 5 and 10. When my daughter went off to college, my son was going to high school. And I asked my ex-wife, could he come live with me? I think it'd be good. He needs his father in his life. But my son didn't want to come. He loved his mother. He had friends there. And I really thought that, well, it's not really that important because I'm still in his life. I still had the weekends. I still have Christmas. But as I look back on it, it wasn't enough. But I didn't understand that until I'm in the situation that I'm in now. Because I grew up, my father died when I was 1. I never had a father. My mother never remarried. All my friends had no fathers. None of them. From elementary school all the way up to college. None of my friends had their biological father in the home. And most of them didn't have no father. So sometimes we don't know our own importance. And I didn't know mine. I should have made him come. Because he lost so much that he turned out to be a great young man. But these men need to live and see the life through a man's eyes if they're a man. Because looking at it through their mama's eyes is something different. And that's why they don't deal with a lot of things that they should be able to deal with. So we have to look at it, and it's kind of like our culture now of singleness. Right. A lot of the homes are single women.
No, that's real right there. That's real. That's real. Let me get a couple of these comments real quick. Let's see. Kenyatta said, I appreciate how Donovan talk and rough my sons up. His relationship with all three are different based on their personalities. My sons are protective of him too. That's real right there. Yeah, shout out to Donovan holding that down. Shout out to Donovan. Mr. Hebrew 7 in the building. He said the powers that Let's see, the powers that feed this BS to the Black community to keep you from bonding, making strong families, and producing strong Black men, which is the thing they fear the most. No, that's facts. That's facts. And to Vince's point, you know, some of these things are definitely fed to us. You know what I'm saying? Commercials, movies, you name it. You know, we get fed a lot of these narratives, but at the end of the day, a father is needed in the home, especially when it comes to the Black home. A father is needed in the home. And it's definitely when we're talking about sons, you know, and I'm not going to even discount daughters. Mm-hmm. Yep. At the end of the day, a lot of the young ladies today, I think that they have missed out on that interaction from their fathers, which is why we see some of this misaligned vetting, or better yet, non-existent vetting that we see happening today. So no, at the end of the day, the father is important for all the kids. Let me just go and be honest about that thing. You want to say something, Chloe? Go ahead.
I also want to say this. I don't know if women understand this or are paying attention, but we talk about, and maybe we talk about it, but the people who are part of the problem obviously don't. But we talk about this epidemic of overly feminine men, right? And first of all, it is a bit of a narrative. There's a little bit of narrative being pushed there, but there is some truth to it, right? We are seeing in general that there are young men who are growing up with a bit more of the emotional traits than being just, you know, more masculine. We are seeing that. And I just want to know, like, in this video that you played, this woman at the end said, you know, just go on with that. We don't need you. My son don't need you. I'll raise him. And I'm just going, you don't understand when you do that, that you are causing this young man to have a low to non-existent amount of respect for his father. He's going to begin to disrespect him because he sees you disrespecting him. And he's following your example because you have more influence on him at this point than his father does. This is why he even has the nerve to call you when he's at his father's house, in his father's care. He has the nerve to call you to tell you to come and get him because he knows you're going to do it.
Right.
You are supporting his bad habits. And so he thinks it's okay. And I don't think that women understand that the more they do this, the more they support their son's desire to skirt authority, be lazy, not do the things that young men should actually be doing to develop their masculinity, to develop their leadership skills and their natural abilities as men. The more you allow them to avoid responsibility and avoid those things, the more they're going to take that opportunity. Of course, they prefer you over their dads. If they have a dad anywhere in the vicinity trying to be a part of their lives, of course they're going to prefer you over their dad because they don't want that, right? But it's up to you as the parent to understand that although they may not like it now or understand it or be able to appreciate it at their young age, that as they get older, they will. And I think that sometimes women don't think ahead in that way because that's not typically a part of our natural makeup, right? But you guys are helping the narrative. If we are allowing young men in our homes as women, right, to feel comfortable to skirt responsibility, be lazy, not have to learn the things, the just natural skill set, that a man should learn and should know. If we are allowing them to be disrespectful to adults, including and especially their fathers, don't you think that at some point, all of that vitriol and all of that hatred that you have for that Black man, his father, they're going to develop that same hatred for that Black man? But it goes further. Wouldn't they start to, at some point, depending on what's going on already inside of them, potentially turn that hate on themselves and start to hate themselves? Because they're Black men. Ladies, y'all going around, I don't need a man, I don't need a man, me and this, me and that. You're raising a son. Could he start to look like, oh, well, I don't want to be a black man. I don't like being a black man. What if he begins to now turn that hatred towards himself? Could this be part of the reason why our young black boys now want to be women? Why some of them rather have girls around them than men? Why some of them are preferring to play to the feminine side? Because it ain't popping to be a black man right now. It's not trending to be a black man right now. The narrative is the last thing you want to be right now is a black man. You'd rather be a black woman. Maybe that's why your son want to be gay. Maybe that's why you want to be transgender, because it's popping to be a black woman right now. Black women winning. I mean, I just don't think that women understand how deep this goes when you just turn away that man from being a father to his son. I don't think you guys understand the ripple effect that you have and the domino effect that you have. This is why men will say, it's best sometimes to allow a young boy at a certain point to go live with his father. This is why they will say that. Because some of the lessons, and just listening to the men speak on this panel tonight, some of the lessons that you guys need to teach, we don't really understand it, and we don't really need to be there for it. We don't need to be there for it. We're not going to get it. So, I mean, I'll land there. It may be unpopular opinion, but I don't care. Everybody else know how they want to feel about how they want to feel. So, I'm going to say what I need to say, how I need to say it.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead, C Prince. I know you wanted to say something. Go ahead, C Prince.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I will say two things, right? One, I was taught that if you see a man that gives you an excuse constantly, I will show you a failure. You know what I'm saying? So I heard that all my whole life. If you see a woman to give excuse, what is she? Because, it only says it about a man. What would we call a woman that gives a man excuse to fail? You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to define now. And then also, we always hear this thing, women always say, use what you got to get what you want. Right? I was naive when I heard that too. I thought they were talking about their body. Right? But an older woman said, nah. She said, a woman will use her head to get what she wanted. But the other trash will use everything else to get what they want. And she said it just like that. I was like, wow. I never thought about it in that context. And think about this. If we keep allowing women to dictate how we raise our young men as men, that's our fault as men. You know what I'm saying? We can't blame them because guess what? We threw up the white towel and walked away. You know what I'm saying? Like I told my cousin, he's in a situation like that. And then he had his son, 18-year-old, come by and give him excuses. My cousin looked his son dead in his face. He said, I didn't give you excuses. Go ask your mama to fix it. Just like that. That's what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to take a stand. Sometimes it hurt, but a hard lesson is better than a bad lesson any day. So when we get a chance to teach our sons how to be men, we can't just come into the rescue like a superhero, especially when they didn't want to listen to us. When they come and say, hey, Dad, nah, boy, you was grown back then and told me I couldn't teach you nothing. I'm going to watch you figure this out. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's real right there. I guess this will be my question, though. I I guess are we still dealing with a high level of selfishness? And what I mean by that is we got a young lady, we got a young man, right? So at some point y'all laid up. No condom, whatever you want to come up with, condom busted, whatever excuse you want to give up, right? So now the child is here, right? But then the child gets here and now you want to have conflict between the two of you raising the child. Yep, and from the outside looking in, it's just like, is it really about the child, or is you just bucking with my man? And he just bucking with you. And now the child is caught in the middle. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I thought the goal was still what's best for the child. So if you have a man being active in the son's life and trying to provide some structure as the man or as the father, then you have the woman trying to provide some structure as a woman, the nurturing, and I think as a young lady said in the video, the treat people nice and all of that stuff. If that's the case, then why are we bucking with the other person providing a structure? Because see, at the end of the day, I didn't hear my man. He's not telling you how to teach our son nurturing. He ain't saying that. But then you're trying to tell him how to teach his son to be a masculine man. And see, that's where I always have to ask the question, why is it that we have this situation where the young lady wants to tell the man how a man is supposed to do it, but then the man is not telling the woman how she's supposed to do it? He just falls back and lets the woman do what she do. But then in turn, the woman don't want to fall back and let the man do what he's supposed to do. Yeah, but that's why I say, is it really about the kids, or you just bunking with him? Yep. Are we even concerned with the well-being of the child at this point, or is we just at each other's throat? And this is why I asked the question that I asked earlier. Why are we even laying down? I'm gonna call it what it is. Why are we even laying down raw with somebody that we don't even trust to raise and provide structure to our kids? Yep, and that's what I don't get. And then we end up in this type of situation. And now, like I said, in this situation, we can't even call my man no deadbeat. We can't use that excuse. I know we like to use that one a lot. Deadbeat dad. This guy is actually active, and he's still catching it. So I'm just trying to understand. And then the other thing I want to mention as well that the brother said in the video that I thought was interesting. He said at the end and closed it out by saying, I want you, or told his the mother of his kid, I want you to keep that same energy when it comes to that money. So now I got to ask another question. Yeah, why, once again, would you have an issue with the man and how he raises his son, but then yet you still want to ask that man for money? So he's good for his money, he's good for his resources, but then he's not good to father his child?
Yeah.
Like, I need somebody to make that make sense from you. You want to say something, Chloe? I saw you come off. Go ahead.
Yeah, because that's all men are good for anyway. Resources.
Oh man, here we go.
And you got to realize, Grace, some of these women have absolutely no respect for, especially the black man.
Exactly.
Who gonna check me, boo?
That's
they
it.
Believe that. They believe that. Who gonna check me, boo?
No one can check. No one can check the black woman. Not even another black woman. No one can check the black woman, period. You cannot, because she is not wrong. And even if you are a woman like myself who tries to speak to women and reason with women, they don't want to hear it. Women do not care at this point about the consequences of their actions. This is why they have a problem with accountability, because accountability calls you to the front of the congregation and makes you take a look at yourself and your choices. This is why they don't like accountability. This is why anytime you speak against them, the first thing they want to do is shut you up. Period. They don't want to hear it. And I'll be honest and say, unfortunately, we have some men that are the same. They are not willing also to recognize that there is some accountability that falls on the man. And since we speak primarily to Black people on this show, then it's Black men that I'm speaking of. I'm not gonna, if y'all waiting for me to pander to Black men, keep waiting. I'm not gonna do that. If y'all waiting for me to pander to Black women, keep waiting. I'm not gonna do that. I'm an objective voice, and it is what it is. And we have a question in the comments that I would really like to address from Mr. Hebrew 7.
I'm assuming that's this one right here. So yeah. Mr. Hebrew 7 said, where are Black women winning? He said, you're the least married, most divorced, and brokest, the least desired amongst all demographics. So again, where are you winning as Black women? Okay.
So first and foremost, I think context is always needed in these types of conversations, right? Context is key. The narrative right now is that Black women are winning. That's the narrative that they're shoving down our throats. Just like Ben said, you turn on a commercial, a show, awards, anything that they can do, and anytime that they have a platform, they want to make sure you understand that Black women are winning. It is very much trending to be a Black woman right now. That's the narrative. So when I was speaking, I'm speaking to the narrative. You might have missed the sarcasm in my response, right? This is not about what I think about Black women. This is about what they want you to believe about Black women. And right now, they want you to believe that Black women are on top of everything, regardless of the fact that the data and the statistics do not support that. But this is why they have to shove it down your throat, because they need the perception to be that Black women are winning across the board. They don't really want you to pay attention to the facts. The facts still remain that even though Black men are still considerably behind white men in earning, they are still quite a bit ahead of Black women. Although Black women have begun to close that gap, there is still a considerable gap. And then if you factor in the fact that Black women are hugely in debt, then the income that they're making just doesn't carry the same amount of weight because they have to pay more out. So that's wonderful that you're making $80,000, $90,000. Maybe even you've gotten to a point in your career where you're making $100,000. But if you have $40,000 worth of debt, because your house is debt, your car is debt, that credit card, that's revolving debt, all of that begins to dwindle away and chip at that money that you know, that boss chick money that you're making. And let's just be honest, men don't spend like that. They don't. So when I speak a lot of times, I'm speaking to the narrative that they push. And this is what they're pushing. This is why I say, if you're a young Black man and you are impressionable, and the only influence or the strongest influence you've had in your life is your mom, who is a part of this movement of boss chicks and modern women and feminism, if that's the only influence you've had in your life, if that's the only influence, and at no point did a man, a strong male leader, get his hands on you, then this is why we're seeing these these effeminate men. Not to mention society's pushing it. This is why we're seeing men now want to be women. This is why we're seeing men wanting to attract other men, because that's what women do. This is why we're seeing that. And Black women have to understand that they played a part in that. And videos like the one that you just showed is evidence of that. Now that young man does not have his father, or could potentially there be a strain in their relationship. So now all of that teaching and leading and all of that, he will not be receiving that injection from his father. So all he'll have is her babying him. And this is why we get to the point where women are like, I don't want a man if that's what's out here.
That's real. That's real. So let me go ahead, C Prince. Then I'm gonna go down to Hirsch. I want to ask him a question. Go ahead, C Prince.
You know, I looked at that comment about Black women losing and stuff, but in fact, I'm gonna say it like this: imitation is a form of flattery, right? Imitation is a form of flattery. Almost every woman, regardless of their color in the world, got a little Black woman in them. They will swear they have a Black to them with the way they talk, the way they carry themselves, and stuff like that. Just because the original is what everybody said is less desirable, the imitations are. So guess what? When you down the original, you got to remember, you feed the imitations as they the originals. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you got now, hoes are women, and women are no good. Understand this. The women is not the problem here. Men are the problem. Because guess what? If you want to be truthful, when you make statements like that, that means you look at Black women like that. Understand? Because these statements are not just because they said it or somebody else said it. It's also part of your belief system as well. Because guess what? Regardless of what they've been through, we got to support them building back up because we want them to build us up. But at the same time, we could blame them for everything. But guess what? We don't want throwing the dollars at them. We don't want leaving them with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Tell them that you don't act like that white woman over here because she listens, or this Chinese woman over here listen. We doing it. Because guess what? The truth of the matter is, us Black men destroyed them Black women to what they are now. And guess what? When you write statements like this, you part of the problem.
Okay. Okay. I ain't mad at that, C Prince. You was go on and steal the show, man. I ain't mad at that, C Prince. I knew you was gonna hop on here for something now. I knew you was hopping on for something, man. Let me go down to my guy Herschel real fast. So Herschel, let me ask you this, man. I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. When a young fella becomes a certain age, is it better for him to be with his father versus his mother?
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I live this situation because I have a 13-year-old going on 14-year-old son right now. He lives with me primarily. Been doing that since he was like 4. I mean, I just think since day one, kind of like what somebody said earlier, it might have been Vince or somebody like, but I think since day one, father needs to be there for son or daughter. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I do feel that there are sometimes like right now, my son and my son's mother and myself, we are both in a place where we both are in agreement. Where she even said this to me like the other day, saying that right now he needs me more than ever. Because right now he's going through the whole puberty, the adolescence, the things. He's becoming a man. That testosterone is increasing, and he's got to place that plate. He's got to put it places. You know what I'm saying, and put it out there. Use that energy. So he's got to know how to do it. He's got to watch an example. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of men out here, we see they have the testosterone, and then they're feeding into that feminine energy. That's why you got all these guys out here that are like getting in trouble in the juvenile system. That's why they're violent. That's why they don't have any remorse. They're acting out. They're not placing that. They're not putting that energy in the right places. But having a good example. It doesn't even be a father, just a male example in their life during these times. Like Job Corps and those type of things. A mentor. That helps them learn how to, put those places, that energy in the right places. So yeah, but my right now, my situation right now, yeah, personally, I feel like my son does need me now more than ever. While he's growing up and becoming a man. He's about to go to high school, and yeah, he's gonna ask questions. And I need to be there for him. And he just needs to see. He's doing it now. Like even right now, like he's watching me when I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? He's watching where we're going. He's keeping the landmarks, the streets, and he's paying attention. He's watching how I'm driving. Just those little wee things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's very vital. But I think going back to that video, I have some issues with that. I mean, as y'all saw, the father brought the son in his own car to drop his kid off.
Right.
He didn't have to do that. I mean, personally, so I've been in that situation before, but it's like this: like, if it's my parenting time, it's my parenting time. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. All that. I understand you want to say, okay, well, listen to the kid, and you don't want to, make it worse and all this and that and that. No, I mean, you should have an agreement way down the line, long time before now, and he's 13 or whatever age that kid was, where he knows that from this time to that time, this is who you're with. No ifs, ands, or buts, unless it's an emergency situation. And I know my opinion, I don't feel like I'm right. I don't feel right. And this is no. So me, if I was in that situation, he would, he could have texted all day long. But I'm talking to mom. I'm talking to mom. And I'm saying, look, I'll drop him off on this time whenever, it's time to get him back. He'll be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How you nip that in the bud. But so I mean, I don't know. I feel a little type of way, like like the dad. He was doing his thing, but at the same time, it's like part of him seemed like he pretty much didn't want to do it himself. Because I mean, I think it's like you would have kept us. I would have kept my boy until the time, until it's time to drop him off. But yeah. But to answer your question, I do feel any child needs their father, but like for the boys, especially when they're becoming men, yeah, they do need that man. They need him.
Right. No, I appreciate that, man. You want to say something, Vince?
Go ahead, man. Can I respond to C-Prince?
Go ahead, Vince. He watching. Go ahead, man.
I do agree with him partially.
Okay.
And for the black women are winning thing, they winning, but they are working themselves to death. They do not have the income, the savings, or the investments when they retire. We think black women are women because it's a good facade. They going on trips. They doing this. And that's because they running up a bunch. And Chloe is absolutely right. They running up a bunch of credit card debt. When I used to do mortgages about 5 years ago, most of my female clients' debt to income ratio was high as the sky because they do this emotional buying. See, men don't do that. Like a lot of women ask, well, why men don't go on vacation? Why men don't? Because I don't think men can go on vacation and their rent is due. I can't really lay on the beach and I know my rent is due. You know what I'm saying? And I also think with the whole passport bro, white this and white that, I think we need to change that to it's not the color, it's the culture. It's just like a lot of these black women saying white men. It ain't because they white. It's because they think they're going to provide. Because they come from a patriarchal community. And I know that difference because in all my years of dating, I don't know if I told y'all this before, it's been 3 women out of hundreds of women that I've dated that have both of their parents and both of their parents in home, and it's a glaring difference.
3.
And that's because they was raised to be wives. Like my wife, she's raised to be a wife. What? She's what you call submissive or whatever, but she's raised to be a wife, which means she was raised to be able to cooperate and compromise with a man. When women don't have that, then they don't understand that. So we got to get away from this. Oh, we want a black. It's really because they're able to compromise because they come from that. And so I do believe that us as black men, we got to stand on our motherfucking square and get our shit together and don't play with these women. Don't lie to them. Have some dick discipline. Understand that you worthy. Like these women, I'm worthy, you worthy. Don't just sit up here and pander to the woman because you want to sleep with her. Yeah, sis. Yeah, you a boss, sis. Yeah. No, cut that shit out. Stand on your square and you'll get the respect that you want. And I think that's a problem too, because like men like me, they don't care. They got what they want. They're not out here talking about a woman ain't doing this and they doing that, because they got the juice to get what they want. So they don't have no complaints. It's these guys out here that ain't got it that's the ones that's complaining. The ones that need a woman to help them pay their rent, help them pay their child support. They don't know how to take care of no business. The men that got all that ain't got no problems. Black, white, Chinese, whatever. And see, those men need to say something, but those men are smart. See, I'm dumb. I think people gonna change. I think people gonna take good advice. They know motherfuckers ain't gonna, they gonna do the same thing they've been doing and get the same thing they've been getting, and Vince, you wasting your time. That's what they tell me. Vince, why you care so much? You got you a fine submissive wife. Why you care what all these other single people think and what they doing?
Well, let me say this. You can still plant the seed. Yeah, that's the key. You can still plant the seed, right? So everybody may not turn the corner at the same time. Everybody may not be ready to turn the corner, but you can still plant the seed. Yeah, going back to what Herschel was saying, you know, saying with his young fella. Herschel planting seeds. Yeah, his son is seeing things that his dad is doing. Now, Herschel may not see it right now, but as his son gets older, some of that stuff that his son is observing from his father right now, it's going to play out. Yep, and see, that's planting those seeds. Like I said, and even these conversations, as we have these conversations, we planting a lot of seeds. Yep, and for the people that are ready to hold themselves accountable, look at their situation and their decisions and make some changes, they can grab these seeds out of this conversation and apply it. But for those folks who are not ready, see, they may not be ready to hear from events, you know, talking as a married man. They may not be able, you know, be ready to hear from a Quay Price talking as a married man. You know, they may not be able to hear, you know, some of the ladies out here. They may not be able to hear from a Herschel, you know, talking as a father. Like, they might not be ready for that. But the seeds are still planted. So for the folks who are ready to look at their lives and say, you know what, I might need to do some things different, that's why we're here. Go ahead, see Prince. I see that hand. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. Because I'm sitting here thinking, right? And, you know, and it just hit me. We're talking about classes of people, right? You have men and others. These others are not men. We got women and others. But we take these others and we group them together as men and women. Understand this. When you say men or women, they're winning because they're men and women. The others filter into this crap, this conversation, because you got the thoughts, the hoes, the sugar daddies, and all that stuff. These others that we count as men and women, you know what I'm saying? So there's something wrong with the way we think. You know what I'm saying? Because we giving credit to these pretenders as they men. Just because they got an age, you know, they might stand their own or something like that. They don't make a man or a woman. It doesn't, because they don't know how to handle their business. So we sit here thinking, and you know, when we say that black women are winning, we're talking about black women. We're not talking about thoughts and hoes and, you know, tricks and none of that. When we say black men are winning, we're not talking about thugs, drug dealers, and all that. So you see what I'm saying? So we got to understand, when we make this statement, we're talking to that class of people that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that. So they lump us all together. Like I say, all black people look alike. You know what I'm saying? We don't. But why should we give women and men the same like all men and women are alike. Period. You know, it don't make sense. You know, we have to be clear when we talk about women and men. We have to define what we're saying. That we're talking about women and men, and this is what we're talking about in this contest. Because we incorporate everything else, deadbeat dads, baby mama drama, and all this stuff, we are actually discrediting the conversation. Period.
That's real right there. That's real right there. But man, listen, I ain't want to hold this. Would you say something, Chloe?
No, I was just saying I agree. I agree with that. That's true.
You know, C Prince be liking to steal the show. He wanted to come up on here and just, you know, he do what C Prince do. But man, I wasn't gonna keep us on here all night. Listen, I wanted to keep this conversation short because I said at the end of the day, I think it was a needed conversation. And I said I love to definitely see brothers check in and come up on the panel and get a perspective. And like I said, we got a spread, we got a mixture of background on the panel today. And like I said, I think it just makes for a great value add for the community. And then, like I said, just touching issues that really need to be touched. Yeah, we talk about these broken families. Yeah, we talk about these baby daddies and baby mamas. We talk about these things, right? But that video that I put up earlier, it just really put it in perspective and gave it a visual. But what we don't talk about is how deeply it affects the kids. Yeah, that's the part we don't talk about. We talk about how, you know, I hate my baby daddy, I hate my baby mama. Like we talk about all that, and then the child support. She got me on child support. We talk about all that stuff, but we really never go into how it really affects the kids. Mm-hmm. Yep, and just referencing back to the video when the mama called for the son to come out of the car and come, you know, basically come in the house. And I recall the father saying, basically, dang, son, it's like that. Like, we got to think about that. Yeah, we got to think about how that affects the relationship between the father and the son. Because, see, now the son got to pick sides. Yeah, he got to choose sides by if he's going to roll with his dad or if he's going to roll with his mom. Yeah, but then the first thing she responds back with is, I'm going to take you shopping. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, but now we got to introduce some money in there to get the kid to pick sides between his mom and his dad. Yeah, so we really got to think about what we're doing out here when it comes to these you know, separation of relationship and the kid is caught in the middle. Yep, overall, I think it's best for the kids that we are on the same page, or at least as aligned as much as we can be. But I think, like I said, honestly, the end goal is to put the kid first. Yep, and that sums up, or that will provide the structure that is needed for that kid to have the best balance out of both parents as they can, female or male. But man, I want to do some closing, man, and we're going to get on out of here. So I'm going to circle around real quick. I'm going to go to Chloe first. I'm going to Vince. I'm going to C Prince. I'm going to Joe. I'm going to Herschel. Then we're going to get on out of here. Chloe, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
You know, yeah, just to the topic, right? Your baby daddy is right. I think we can broaden that and just say, ladies, sometimes men are right. They're right. You know, they're right. There are subject matters that we need to just concede. And we need to say, these are areas where, as a woman, I'm just not going to understand. As a woman, this is not my lane. So I need to let him own this lane. I need to let him own this and just let it go. I know we always want to be in control, and with our kids, we can kind of get in mama bear mode. Even with dad, we can do that. But I know that might be our impulse, but it really works against the kids. And it's not allowing us as women to stay in our feminine frame. There are boundaries that don't need to be crossed as women. And then as men, same thing. There are some areas where, you know, moms or women in general, that's not your lane. It's really not your thing. And I just think that you should just understand that, recognize that. And I will say this, I know y'all get tired of me doing this because I'm always holding women accountable because I'm a woman. But men are better at that. Men are better at being comfortable at doing what they know they do well. They're really not interested in taking over or coming into female spaces. But women are often coming into male spaces and then telling men how to navigate those spaces. And it's a really weird dynamic. And so your baby daddy is right to me is just sometimes you're wrong. That's how I would rewrite that title. Ladies, sometimes you are wrong. Sometimes you are. Be willing to do some self, analyzation and recognize when there are times where you need to just take a step back. You're not right. You're not going to always be right. And I speak the way that I do because we all have work to do. And if we really want to bridge the gap between men and women in our community, we got to start actually doing the work, not pretending to do the work, not creating another hashtag self-love, soft life, feminine era, classy girl era. Can we just not create any more hashtags and actually do the work? Black women are winning out here. Just like C. Prince said, there are some Black women that really are winning, but they're not the ones that are on social media talking about how, they make 6 figures and, they got several businesses. Those are not the ones that are winning. The women who are winning are the ones who have learned how to really own their feminine nature. They've decided that they want to unplug from the matrix. They are no longer being easily manipulated by commercials and social media to buy everything in sight. They're the ones who have embraced who they are naturally and don't need to, they can wear makeup or not wear it. They can, straighten their hair or not. It doesn't matter because they love themselves for who they are. They don't need a costume. They don't need a mask. They know how to love their children. They know how to co-parent with their baby daddies. They know how to be a submissive wife. Those are the Black women that are really winning. Those women. So yeah, C. Prince is right. There is a difference. And I would say the same thing for the men. And I'll just land there.
There it is. Appreciate that. Vince, what you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, sorry for the topic. Yeah, your baby daddy is right, but it don't matter if he's right if the woman or the child does not respect him. I think that we need to understand, what are we teaching our children? I always go back to that. I have 2 grown sons, and I've talked to them straight up. I say, look, I don't believe in sowing your royal oats. I don't believe you going out there and just conquer as many women as you can, because that will lead you to destruction. Every major problem I had was chasing pussy. At the end of the day, bad credit, bad driver's license, DUI, teenage father, twice. So I say, look, whoever you lay down with, that might be the mother of your kids. So be more intentional. You're worthy. You're worth more than that. Because at the end of the day, you got to get yourself together. And I tell my daughter too, I'm not looking, I need a son-in-law and a daughter-in-law before I want a grandchild. I don't care how I did it. You do something different. Because I do believe how you set something up will give you a better result. I don't care what nobody say. Oh, when marriage ain't, try it then. Just try it that way then. Oh, well, marriage ain't no guarantee. Baby daddy show ain't no guarantee. Because first of all, you don't have no legal rights. So yeah, she can do whatever she wants to because you have no legal rights. If you marry, you have legal rights from the beginning. I was so ignorant that I didn't even know when I got married that I didn't have to sign the birth certificate. Because when you're married, you don't have to sign the birth certificate because that's your wife and that's your kid from the beginning. You don't have to establish paternity. I was just that ignorant. I'm so excited when I signed the birth certificate. Oh, well, Mr. Williams, you don't have to sign the birth certificate. And then I felt foolish.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have to sign the birth certificate?
No, because when I looked at mine, I always was wondering, like, why my dad's name not on this?
Yeah,
I never
you
knew
don't
that.
have to sign it because that's your wife. She's legally your wife. That's legally your child from the beginning. The paternity is yours. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to wait 5 years, and then when the baby mama don't want to act right, you got to go to court. Oh well, have you established paternity? Oh well, yeah. So we as men got to make better decisions. We got to get our stuff right, and then demand. And come, I ain't gonna say demand. I'm gonna say command the respect that we deserve, the respect that we've worked hard for. Then we will get our women to act right, because they won't have no choice. Either they gonna do it or they gonna get moved on. But see, a lot of these men will simp and pander, and I'm gonna let her talk to me that way because I gotta live with her. No, you don't. You gonna act right, or you gonna get left behind. And I'll land the plane there, as Chloe would say.
Simple as that. Simple as that. See, Prince, what you want to say, man, before we get out of here?
I think I said a lot, but I guess I'll end it with a little something. You know, the first thing I notice about anybody, man or woman, they never have to tell you how much they are worth. They're actually, but when they start telling you, I make this, I do that, this and that, be wary. Because guess what? They're a salesperson right now. They're selling you on something to be with you. Understand that. If somebody's genuine, they don't have to tell you what they're worth. They're going to show you. That's how I'm going to end it on.
As simple as that, man. Let them actions talk. Let them actions talk. Appreciate that, man. Let me go to Joe. Joe, you want to say anything before we get out of there, man?
This is a great topic as always. When Vince mentioned earlier that the whole passport bro movement wasn't about the color or ethnicity of a woman, it was about the culture. It's true. It's the culture, the values, the mentality. It's where specifically for Black men is what we saw and witnessed and idolized in the 60s, the 70s with the black woman standing with the Black man. She's getting a hose down too, right along with him. She's getting beaten, thrown off the bus like Rosa Parks, right along with Martin Luther King. So they're not idly sitting by on the sidelines, but they also were also very feminine. You know, they knew to let the man lead the charge, which is why I believe the movement was as successful as it was. So we look to that, and then you see other cultures of women, other foreign women, and you realize they still have that, what Black women had 40, 50, 60 years ago. So that's what we're really looking for. It's not so much that you don't want to be with a Black woman, because it was a hard pill for me to swallow, to realize the stark differences in the way I was treated between the white American woman and the Black American woman. No matter how many times I tried, it was just always much easier to deal with other types of women. So it's kind of like, well, what do I do? Do I suffer, or do I try to make this thing here work? It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of work. It can be done. Or I can go here and where it's just easy. It flows. It works. She follows my lead naturally. I don't have to fight her to get her to do it. I don't have to compete for, who's going to be the man of the relationship. She just knows to let me do me and I let her do her, and it works. That's it. It really is that simple. And some men will go as far as go outside the country and say, well, there are even more feminine women who are more feminine than white American women. But so that's really the reason why. It's not that we don't want nothing to do with them. It's that it appears based on the behavior and actions, at least with me and a lot of black men I spoke to, that they don't want nothing to do with us. And it's in their actions. They say with their words, we love the black man and all this other stuff, but their actions speak louder than their words. And it's just a consistent thing. So, and this is the result of it. If you saw the video, that is, and I've seen that with my friends, my black male friends with their black baby moms or ex-wife or whatever, and very similar treatment. So to Price's point when he said, look, this is a skit, I said, well, if it was a skit, where does that even come from? You have to be inspired by something to even create something like that. What other cultures of women outside of America would even think to make something like this as if it's entertaining? It's not supposed to be entertaining. It's traumatizing. And the reason why we speak on it is because there's so much truth to it. And we know, most of us know situations in which people have been put in this predicament. We know firsthand, third hand, some cases. Yo, yeah, my baby mom did this to me. And you're like, oh, I know. Like, I know you're a good dude. I've seen the way you treat your kid. You know, yeah, but we don't really get to see something like that up front in our face. But we see what the man goes through, the black man specifically. And it's not, to me, it's not entertaining. To me, it's not funny. It's kind of like that whole, that overweight woman with the one guy. She wanted to go to a cheesecake factory or something like that. And they said it was a skit. Called it was skit. Oh, it's just for fun. Yeah, but you don't traumatize. You brought up a lot of old feelings. Like, people are like speaking on this as if it's true. Why are they doing that? We don't go to the movies and say, oh, Rambo, that is real. We know that's entertainment. But the reason why we react the way we do to these supposed skits is because there's so much truth to it. And a lot of us have either been through it or know someone who has gone through it. And it's like, this is an issue. And then they come out and say, oh, it was just a funny, ha, ha, ha. There's nothing funny about that because it's actually a legitimate issue, but you're making light of something that actually happens in reality to a lot of people that affects real people, real lives, and the kids. Like Chloe said earlier, what about the kids? For the father, it's about me, me, me. For the mother, it's about me, me, me. Oh, she's going to take child support. He's saying at the end, oh, don't worry about the money. But he's not thinking. He's saying this within earshot of this boy. He's literally saying to him, without saying to him, I'm not going to support you financially. I'm cutting you off. He's not saying that to him directly. He's saying it to the mother out of spite because he's angry. I get it. But this boy is listening. He's like, wow, okay, Dad. So you're saying you don't want to feed me. You don't want to clothe me. You don't want to shelter me. He's going to remember that. Even though it wasn't directed towards him, that's the way he felt at the time. It was selfish. Now, of course, we all know her situation and her mode of selfishness. So it's dysfunction on both sides. I'm not one to place blame on one or the other. But for him, where he's at now, sometimes some guys, they just cut ties, even with their own flesh and blood, and start a family anew. Some guys literally do go overseas. You know what? She can have him. Like, there's nothing you can do. Or so he feels. He's going to fight against the system. He's going to fight against her. And before I do something I'm going to regret, let me just go ahead and, you know what? Go ahead, take him. I hate that I have to do this. I have to abandon my own seed and maybe go start a family someplace else with this new version of me, with a woman who's going to cooperate with me, and possibly in a different country altogether, where the laws are at least balanced and fair for the man and the woman. It's not man wanting to get the one up over the woman. It's you want fairness. That's what we want, is balance. And when there's a great one side is greater than the other, where the woman just automatically has that upper hand on the man just by nature of her country of birth, that's the issue. And that's what we think about. That's what I think about. So that's all I got to say.
No, that's real right there. And I appreciate that, man. And just to clarify real quick, to be honest with you, I don't think that video was a skit, man. And to be honest, even for a video that is a skit, to your point, it has to be inspired from something. So even in these skit situations that do exist out here, These are coming from real life occurrences. That's how you able to generate the skit, right? But yeah, in this particular situation, I do not think that was a skit, man, to be honest with you. Unless some really good actors out here. So I just want to put that out there, man, just to, say. And then two, just on that skit topic, then I'm coming to you, Hirsch. Just on that skit topic, I don't think skits are a bad thing either. Because at the end of the day, they're essentially case studies. Yep, they're case studies, and basically these are typically real situations. They've just been acted out by somebody. So no, I said I don't think that one, or just to speak on that one, I don't think that was a skit at all, to be honest with you, man. But let me come to Hirsch so he can say his closing. Go ahead, Hirsch, you got it, man.
Okay, yeah. Piggybacking, the skit thing is like, it's just, even if it's a skit, it's a reenactment, because many fathers or mothers, many people that co-parent, they've had similar interactions like that. They've been through there. I've been through that, where like my son's mother tried to say that my son didn't want to come with me when it was my time. I want to go get him. And so this is the same type of thing. We're sitting there talking and bickering and going back and forth. This was years ago though. So that's kind of what I was leading to for my statement, for my finishing statement, is saying that going back to what you were saying, Quay, earlier about just focusing on the best interest of the child, the welfare of the kid. Early on, you're young, like I was young, we would go tit for tat, back and forth, and this and that. But then one time, I just looked at him while it was going on, and from that point on, I was like, you know what? It's what's best for him. You know what I'm saying? So from that point on, that's what I do. Anything that I do, even as far as even a business venture, you know what I'm saying? First thing I do is thinking, how is that going to affect my son? And I say that to his mom regularly. I say, look, we can have our differences, but at the end of the day, whatever you do over there in your household, any move you make, first and foremost, think about what is it going to do to your child? Is it going to be a positive thing or a negative thing? And so that's helped me a whole lot in my decision making, in my business ventures, and just in my growth, and just in my relationship with my son, and just even with his mom too. We're in I think a peaceful place right now, which is good. We both matured and grown, and we realize that it's not even about me getting my way or her getting her way. It's about the child getting their way, as far as to be able to become us, become adults, become citizens and have their own lives and everything. So that's what I want to end off with saying, just for parents and people who co-parent, and even people who are married, you know what I'm saying? In a marriage, just like which in your household, you got to factor in those kids. Like, what's the best interest of the children, as far as where you move, because for school districts, all that type of stuff, you just got to put the kids in there first.
Right. No, that's real, man. I appreciate that, man. Well, like I said, man, shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Shout out to my panel, Chloe, Vince, C. Prince, Joe in the building, Hirsch in the building. I appreciate y'all holding me down tonight. Shout out to everybody down in the comments, Donovan, Eva Wright, Kenyatta in the building, Crystal Reed earlier, Mr. Hebrew 7 representing for YouTube, holding us down. Let's see who else. I think that was everybody. Shout out to Keenan as well. Dropped a comment a little earlier. I ain't gonna keep us on here. We got to get on out here. This is Kandid Konvos. We do this show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard. So definitely like, share, and subscribe. Everybody do me a favor, hit that share button as well. This was a great conversation. Awesome conversation. And I think it needs to get to as many of us as we can. So definitely hit that share button if you feel so inclined. Hit that like button as well. But man, we here every Wednesday night. So definitely catch us on the next one. And with that being said, everybody have an awesome night. And we will catch you guys next Wednesday.